Hey guys, Stephanie here with my 2-year-old Alexandrian parakeet Petrie, and today we're going to be talking about recall training. Good job. Okay, so flight training or recall training is, in my opinion, I think the most important type of training that you can do with your parrot. So even if your bird is clipped or you have a bird that just doesn't really want to fly very frequently, there's always the chance that your bird can get out of your house or maybe go up to the ceiling or something in your house. But basically just your bird can get into situations where being able to quickly recall your bird is incredibly important. So obviously if your bird gets outside of your house and is in danger, you want to be able to call your bird down from the tree, God bless you, or wherever it is, and not have to get on a ladder or whatever to try and get your bird. Recall training also comes in handy when your bird, like Petrie, is being really destructive and flying up to the rafters in your ceiling or whatever and just wanting to chew your house apart. Having him flight trained or recall trained has been incredibly useful because I can just call him down and he knows that if he flies down, he's going to get a click, he's going to get a reward, and that is a lot more fun than being up in the rafters. So even if you're pursuing some sort of just indoor flight training, you don't want to be doing any type of outdoor flight training, which I totally get, it's not for everybody. Having your bird recall trained is really important. And I think that it's also just a great way to exercise your bird. Flying is obviously their primary form of exercise. Where are you going? Oh. Now, assuming that your bird has never done any type of recall training in the past, you're going to want to start off small. And by that, I mean short distances. So most birds can get from A to B just by jumping. And that's really where we're just going to start off with. So keep in mind, we've been doing a lot of recall training for over a year now with Petrie, so he's going to pick up on this really quickly. But you might need to take a little bit more time with your parrot. You don't know what their comfort level is. If they're not terribly bonded to you, they might not have a lot of incentive to jump from their nice comfy stand or whatever to you. But that's where clicker training is really helpful because your bird, even if they don't like you very much, and this is a bonding exercise, so it will help with that, but even if they don't like you very much, they know that if they come to you, they're going to get that click, they're going to get that reward, and they're going to be happy. So we're just going to start off small, as if I've never done any type of flight training with Petrie, and at the end of this video, I can add some early footage of our, the first couple of flight training sessions we ever did, and you'll be able to see how quickly Petrie progressed. I also just want to say that I started doing flight training with Petrie when he was still clipped from being brought home. So I started flight training Petrie before his first molt, and he was clipped from when we brought him home from the bird store. So I just like to say that because it really highlights the fact that you can do flight training with your bird even if they are clipped. There's this misconception that if your bird has clipped wings and it gets outside, it can't escape. But all you need is for a strong gust of wind to come and that bird is gone. So doing recall training is really important if your bird is clipped. If your bird is not clipped, it's also obviously important and it's a great form of exercise. So I'm going to shut up now and we're just going to start to do some recall training. I use the command come here when I ask Petrie to come to me. And then when I want him to go other places, which isn't really recall training, it's more banishment training, whatever you want to call it, I actually say go to perch, go to tree stand, go to cage, or whatever, and he knows what those mean. Okay, come on. Good job. Can you go to perch? Go to perch. Good job. Now, if you're just starting off flight training, you're going to want to click every time they do something good. So every time they come to you, every time they go back to their perch, if you're just starting with the flight training, you want to be clicking and rewarding for every positive behavior, every desired behavior. As you start to progress, you can start to phase that out because you don't want your bird to be under the impression that every time it does something good, it's going to get a click and reward. You want your bird to also realize that just the act of coming to you is positive reinforcement. You always want to let your birds finish their treat before you ask them to do the next thing. Petrie, come on. Come on. Good job. Good perch. Good perch. Okay, so I'm now going to show you how you can implement this type of training if your bird is not willingly jumping from their perch or cage or wherever to your hand. You can also entice them with a target stick. You can already see Petrie's getting really excited about this because he is target trained. So in this situation, what I would like to do, or what I would want you guys to do, is to just kind of warm them up with their target training. So, have them move from one side of the perch to the other, move them around, get them, reacquainted with the idea of target training. Good job. Treats and vocal praise throughout all of this. And then what you can do is point to your hand, and they're going to go right to it. Go to your perch. That's also how you can train that type of banishing training, flight training, whatever you want to call it, sending them away to a perch or a cage or whatever. It can be assisted using a target stick. So for that, of course, your bird has to know that the target means something. You have to have your bird target trained already. But target training is, it is the easiest type of training to do with your bird. And in my opinion, it should be the first type of training that you do with your bird. And I can make a video on that down the road as well. Although there are already a lot of really great target training videos out there. He's like starting to do all of his tricks because he's like, what do you want? You're talking to the camera. I thought we were training. So then what you could do once you start to, your bird realizes that jumping from their perch to you with the command come here or whatever you're using is gaining them treats, what you can start to do is just slowly take steps backwards. Petrie, come here. Good job. Now I also want to take a moment to talk about the timing of the click because this is something that I've recently been changing with Petrie. Can you go to your perch? Good job. So Petrie has started in the very beginning of our flight training. As soon as he would take off from the perch, I would click because I knew that he was going to be coming to me. That was always going to be what he was going to be doing. But as he got more and more comfortable with flying and he just wanted to fly around the room and everything, he wasn't always very reliable with coming to me when I would ask him. So a lot of the times he would be on his training perch and I would go stand on the other side of the room and say, come here. I would click as soon as he would take off. And then he would end up going right past me to land on another perch or to land on a cage. So when that started to happen, because I already had that foundation down where I knew that Petrie was going to take off when I said, come here, I changed the timing of the click to reflect what I actually wanted. So when I say come here, I want Petrie to fly to me. So instead, I would wait to click until after he got to me. So I can illustrate what I mean by that now. Can you come here, Petrie? So notice there, I waited to click until he was already on my hand or about to land on my hand, rather than clicking right when he took off. Again, when you're first starting off with the training, I think that it's important to do the click, to click when your bird takes off, because that's really where a lot of the fear is, and that's where you want to be reinforcing the behavior. Good job. Petrie? Come here. Good job. Can you step down? Good job. Another really important aspect to flight training is making sure that you're not only asking your bird to fly directly at you or away from you, but that you're asking your bird to fly up and down to mimic these types of scenarios that might happen if your bird ends up outside. So if your bird does end up outside, chances are it's flying up into a tree, and you're going to need to get your bird to fly down to you. So practicing any type of descent is also going to be really important. Petrie, can you fly up? Come here. Good job. So now that he's up high, I'm going to ask him to fly down to the perch. Can you go to perch? Good job. And that's just a really, really simple and easy way to practice, have your bird practice their descents. Petrie, come here. Come on. Good job. So once you have flight training down, you can start to play hide and seek with your bird, where you go tuck around a corner or even go into another room, whatever, and call your bird and let them come find you. It's a really fun game and it's excellent exercise. Petrie! Petrie, come find me! Good job! So that's the basics to flight training. Start off small, do those controlled jumps, integrate the target stick if you need to. Make sure to get yourself a clicker. I cannot emphasize that enough. Clicker training is the most productive form of training with a parrot, probably with any animal or any human for that matter. So make sure to get a clicker, and thanks for watching. Bye. Petrie, come. Good job. Yeah, okay, ready? Petrie, come, come, come on. Come on, Petrie. Petrie, come. Petrie, come on, baby. Come on, come, come. Good job. Good job. Yeah, ready? Petrie, come. Good job. Petrie, come. Good bird. Petrie.